What is up, you guys? For today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how to get this icy purple cut crease look using the brand new Juvia's The Violets mini palette, and seriously, this palette is so cool. If you haven't seen the color story yet, like, it is so me. It's very purple and it's very grungy at the same time, which I am totally about, but nonetheless, if you'd like to see how I did this look using this palette, as well as my thoughts and opinions about it, then just stay tuned on watching. However, before we jump into it, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below and gave this video a like. And also, if you'd like to check me out on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kitten, where I post a bunch more tutorials over on there if you're looking for some inspiration. So first things first, before we even think about jumping into the palette, I do want to prime my eyelids first, and today we are going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. I don't know if you're like this too, but lately I have been kind of getting a little bit bored with doing my makeup. I don't know what it is about it, but sometimes I just want to sit down and play around with different techniques and different shapes and, you know, just have fun with it. That is literally my favorite thing about doing my makeup, though, is just playing around and experimenting, so that is what we're going to be doing today. But the first shade that we are going to be going in with is this really pretty deeper purple matte shade right here. It is the deepest one in the palette. So we're just going to do things a little bit different than what I normally do. So I'm going to take this Anastasia A13 brush, and I'm going to be packing this purple shade right above the crease of my eye. So you can see like where the fold is, I'm going right above that, kind of where I would cut my crease normally. And I'm just packing this shadow on. And I'm also kind of flicking it outwards. If you're having a problem doing like this little like winged portion right here, I want to show you guys my trick. But what I like to do is follow my eye shape, like right above the crease like I was doing right here, and then I literally just drag it outwards. Like literally like straight out, and then afterwards I kind of start creating that shape. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how pigmented this shadow is though? Like, oh my gosh, it is seriously so gorgeous. Like, look at that color. I will say, like, when we start looking at it, you can kind of see like in certain spots it looks a little chunky. So I'm just gonna take my brush and start tapping it to see if we can make it look a little bit more even, but nonetheless, like, dang, like this is so pigmented. And that is what I love about Juvia's shadows though, is seriously they always pack a punch. I'm just gonna warn you right here, you're gonna have to trust the process with this look. Like, it's gonna look really crazy until we get towards the end, and then it's gonna look absolutely amazing. Like, trust me on this, like, it's gonna go through a cycle. But the next shade that we are going to be going in with is the other matte in the palette, this True Violet shade. And then using this Morphe M507 brush, I'm going to be applying this right on that harsh line of that deeper purple, and then doing these little circular motions to blend it upwards towards my brow. Ooh, she is not wanting to budge at all. It is not wanting to blend out for me really well. Again, I'm gonna do a second layer just to see if we can really like try to get these harsh lines going away, because girl, we do not like harsh lines on this channel unless it is with our cut crease. But dang, like I can't get this harsh line of that deeper purple to blend out. So after buffing out the edge, as you can see, I lost a lot of that deeper richness that we had going on. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit more of that deeper dark purple matte shade and start packing it right on top of where we had it, just to bring a little bit more depth to this look. So once you apply that, then I'm just going to take that brush that we applied the lighter purple matte shade with, that Morphe M507, and then start doing little circular motions on that harsh line. And again, I'm not using any additional product. I absolutely adore the tones of these purples so far. They're like a purple, but they have like a tiny hint of gray and like a little smidge of blue. They are seriously so beautiful on the eyes. I will say though, like blending out that darker purple matte shade, oh my gosh, that literally took me a hot minute to do so. Like I would just have to keep on packing on that lighter purple like matte shade right on the edge, and then I'd have to keep on buffing it out and just really like pressing it in to try to get rid of that harsh line. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like I got a really good blend with it. Like I don't really see much of a harsh line. It just took me a lot more time to do so than what I expected. So now we're going to start cutting our crease, and today I want to do one of those ones, I think it's called a floating cut crease, but somebody told me it's called a full cut crease. It's that one where you fully cut it and then you kind of like wing it out at the end, and then you have nothing underneath. I don't know what it is about it, but I think it just looks so pretty, and I just wanted to try it out again today. So I just want to show you guys how I cut my crease in case you're curious. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look straight on. I'm not going to tilt my head upwards. I'm just going to look like dead on, as straight as I can. And then I'm going to take my brush and make a dot like this right above where my eye naturally creases on my lid. You can see like my lid is right here, and I'm just going right above that and making a little mark like that. So when I tilt upwards, you can see that little line right there. By doing this line, what it does is it gives you like a little bit of a guideline as to how high you should cut your crease, so like when you look straight, then people can see what you have on your lid. So then once you have that done, I'm just going to take this brush and start following right above my natural crease and connecting to that line that we made. And then afterwards, I'm just going to start filling it in. So once you have your normal cut crease going on, now we're going to start doing that wing shape. And what I'm going to do is take my brush and then start following that natural cut crease line that we just made and start winging it outwards until you have something like this. I'm kind of following the natural bone structure that I have. I have like a little bit of like a natural eye socket shape right here with my brow bone. And I'm going right underneath that. And afterwards, I'm just going to start filling it in. So here's where I'm at right now after cutting the crease and the base is 100% dry. And looking at this palette, I don't think I want to use it to set my cut crease, because normally I would go in with the lightest shade, you know, like that lighter purple that we used earlier, or even that lighter shimmer shade, but I don't know, I feel like it would lose the effect that we're going for with this look. So what I'm going to do is grab a matte white out of the Blood Sugar palette. It is called Glucose. You can use any matte white that you have in your collection, or even like a lighter gray shade. That would be super pretty too. And then using Glucose, I'm just going to be packing it anywhere that that base is showing just to set it. And again, when I'm doing this, I am really making sure that I am pressing it in. I want to do something I normally don't do, and that is like a really heavy winged eyeliner, like something like really dramatic. I feel like it would look perfect with this. And today I'm going to be using this eyeliner from Tarte. It is called the Tarteist Double Take Eyeliner Pen. So we're going to ride the struggle bus right now because I'm not used to doing a wing liner on camera, but I'm just going to take this and I'm going to trace the top portion of my lid first. So once you have that done, now we can start working on the wing liner, which, girl, is my biggest struggle. I can never get my wing liner to look completely even. I don't know about you, but I want to show you guys how I do it, and the way I find is actually the easiest. So what I do is I follow my lower lash line waterline outwards and do my flick here. I know a lot of people like to do the thing where you go from your nose to the outer V to your brow and you kind of make like a line right here. I've noticed though when I do that, it makes my eyes look so hooded and it just looks kind of like I have like this excess skin right here, which we are not looking for. So what I did there is I just take my pen and I made a mark right here. So you can see I'm elongating this waterline outwards. And then I just do like a little flick and then I bring it inwards and connect it with what we already had going on. And then once you did that, then you can just fill it in. I always dread doing wing liner, but man, do I love how it looks. But now we're going to be doing something a little bit different with the wing liner and kind of spicing it up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is go in with one of the shimmers out of this palette, this really deep one right here. And using this Sigma E75 dampened, I'm going to be pressing this right on top of that liner that we just did. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you press it in and you're not swiping so you don't disturb the eyeliner. I feel like my camera is not picking up how pretty that this shimmer liner is. Like, man, it looks so cool in person. You know, you kind of look at it and you're like, is that black eyeliner? It doesn't look like black eyeliner. And then you look at it more and it's like, dang, I see the purple shimmer. I don't know. I think it looks so cool. But nonetheless, off camera, I'm just going to kind of clean things up a little bit as well as apply my complexion products, and then I'll be right back. So here's where I'm at right now after applying my complexion products, and I just want to take a moment to talk about this product because nobody talks about them, and that is the Makeup Forever liquid lipstick in the shade 105 Rosewood. And let me tell you, this is probably the nicest liquid lipstick formula I have ever used, hands down. And let me tell you, I have tried a ton of different brands and formulas, and what I like about it is that it is one swipe coverage. Like, this is one coat, which is amazing. It doesn't feel sticky, it doesn't feel tacky. It's really easy to use with the applicator, and also it doesn't feel cracky and like drying on the lips, which is one of my biggest pet peeves with liquid lipsticks. But seriously, like, the formula is just so comfortable. Like, I am literally shook right now. I haven't heard many people talk about this formula. I remember maybe like 2 people when they first initially launched them, but ever since then I haven't heard much about them. So if you're looking for a good liquid lipstick, I highly recommend checking this one out. So now we're going to start working on the lower lash line just to tie everything all nice and together. And the shade that we are going to be going in with is that deeper matte purple that we used earlier. Then using this Luxie 231 small tapered blending brush, I'm just going to be packing this right underneath my lower lash line. I'm not bringing it down far either because I do want to do white eyeliner today. I'm just doing like a little hint of it. So once you have that lower lash line all nice and smoked out, now we can do my favorite part, which is the inner corner highlight. And today we are going to be using the lightest shimmer in this palette right here. Using this Moda Brush's little smudge brush dampen, I'm going to be packing the shit out of this into my inner corner. I'm also bringing it underneath the inner tear duct area to open up the eye. Okay, but that is so pretty looking. Like, oh my gosh, it is so sparkly. That is one thing I really enjoy about Juvia's formula is their shimmers. Like, literally, they are one of my favorite formulas. They're just so buttery and so shiny on the eyes. But yeah, so here's the finished look using the Juvia's Place the Violets mini palette, and oh my gosh, I absolutely adore how this look turned out. You know, it's very purple and violet, but at the same time it is super smoky and dramatic, which you guys know I absolutely adore. And you know, going into this look, I did not have any like looks planned. I just kind of rolled with it, and I was like, you know what, I want to do something very dramatic, but at the same time I wanted to do something different and just sit down and have fun with you guys and experiment and play with this palette. But nonetheless, I do want to give you guys my thoughts and opinions about it. So first things first, let's talk about the eyeshadow formula because girl, that is the most important thing about this palette. And let's talk about the matte formula for a second. And these shades right here are so insanely pigmented. Like you barely like touch your brush in there and apply it, and it is the exact same color as it is in the pan, which is something I really enjoy about Juvia's Place formula. But I will say this deeper one right here, oh my gosh, it is really tricky to blend out. You know, it's like one of those shadows where you have to keep on buffing it and working with it, but at the end of the day, I was able to get it to blend out. Just do keep in mind if you do use that shadow, it might just take you a little bit more time to do so than you expected. With that said though, let's talk about the shimmer formula because seriously, Juvia's has one of my favorite shimmer formulas, hands down, that I've ever tried. It actually reminds me of the Makeup Forever Artist eyeshadow formula if you've ever used those. It just has like this really buttery, like gel-like consistency to it, and it is so sparkly on the eyes. And I really enjoy this lighter one though that we used on the inner corner. It is just so shiny. At first I thought it was going to be way too dark, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think it's gonna work for me. And once I applied it, I actually really enjoy how it looks. And this like darker one that we used as a liner topper, oh my gosh, it literally looks so amazing. At first I didn't think it was going to work all that well, but now that I see it, I absolutely adore it. So when it comes down to it, would I recommend the Juvia's Place the Violets mini palette to you guys? And honestly, I absolutely adore this palette, and I definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you like purple eyeshadow. And what I like about this palette is that it reminds me of all of my other Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes. There is no quality difference. So the shimmers in here are super pigmented, and they have a really nice buttery texture, not to mention they are so sparkly on the eyes. And the mattes in here are insanely pigmented. And I will say though, this deeper one down here, it did give me a little bit of a problem today, but it was able to blend out. It just took me a lot more time to do so. Another thing I really enjoy about this palette is it seems like you get a lot of different tones in this one, even though you have a monochromatic palette. Case in point, you get a lighter matte shade and a deeper matte shade, and then you also get a lighter shimmer and some deeper shimmers, so you could create a number of different types of looks depending on your taste. So I just want to show you guys the Berries palette next to the Violets palette, and if you'd like to see my review on the Berries palette, I'll have it linked in the description box down below for you. But when you look at that palette, you can see the deeper mattes and the shimmers in this one are very similar. So you can't really create a lot of looks with it, whereas with the Violets palette, you can see you just get a lot more tone difference, so you can do a lot more with it. I do want to include some swatches in case you're interested on the Violets palette, but what I'm going to do, since there is no names with this one, is start from the left top and go to the right top, and then go from the left bottom to the right bottom shade. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this look, and also let me know if you're going to be picking up any of the mini palettes from Juvia's Place. But as always though, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a like. And also, if you'd like to check me out on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kin. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!